I'm Susan Robertson from Sharpen Innovation, and I'm going to talk to you today about a tool for creative thinking that will help you come up with better and more creative ideas. One of the things that we need to be aware of when we're coming up with ideas is how are we articulating the question that we're trying to solve? Because the way we articulate the question actually influences the kind of ideas we're going to come up with. And I'm going to give you an example to help illustrate this. Let's say, for example, that we work for a company that has a lot of hourly employees. Let's say a company like a chain store like Target or Walmart, who has lots of hourly employees, and they need their employees to come to work, but they have a problem with absenteeism. So employees not showing up for work and not telling them they're not going to show up for work. And obviously this is an issue they need to solve. So most teams would say, if the problem is absenteeism, they would state the question as, how to reduce absenteeism. And when you ask the question in that way, it will very naturally lead you to a set of kind of ideas that will typically be about punishment, or perhaps you might get to some ideas about rewarding attendance. But if we could find even different ways to ask the question, those other questions will naturally lead us to different kinds of ideas. So for example, if we could instead say, how might we educate our employees about the negative effects of absenteeism? That will very naturally lead us to different ideas than simply saying how to reduce absenteeism. Or if we said, how can we help employees with the causes of absenteeism, will also, again, very naturally lead us to a different set of ideas. Or if we said, how can we manage around absenteeism, meaning we're just going to acknowledge that it's going to happen, we're going to come up with other solutions, again, will very naturally lead us to different ideas. So again, the way we articulate the question influences the kind of ideas we can come up with. So if you're working on a challenge that's kind of been a problem for a while and you've tried some things and they haven't worked, what you may need to try is ask the question in a new way. And I'm going to tell you a tool that will help you do that more easily. And this tool is called word swap. And it's called word swap because that's literally what you're going to do, is swap some words out of the sentence. So the way to do the word swap tool is you look at the initial question, in this case, how to reduce absenteeism, and you break it down into its parts. So you take the word reduce, and you take the word absenteeism, and you take the word we, and you create some substitute words. So let's start with the word reduce. You create substitute. Reduce is a verb, so we're going to create a list of other verbs that we could replace for reduce. So minimize, eliminate, lessen, and those all mean something quite similar to reduce. But you also want to include in your list things that mean something different than reduce. So you might want to put in your list increase. And then you might want to put in your list other verbs that just seem random, that aren't even related, like educate or motivate. So you want to have a diverse list of other words that you might substitute in your question. Again, some of them that mean the same thing, maybe a milder or a more strong meaning, but mean the same thing. Some of them that mean the opposite, and some of them that don't mean the same thing at all. They're not even related, they're just random. So you make a list for the word reduce, and then you move on to the next list of words that you would substitute for absenteeism. So again, things like missed days, apathy, lack of loyalty, all meaning something quite similar, but then you also want to put in things that mean something different, like engagement or enthusiasm or wellness. So again, a list of words, some mean the same, some mean different, and then you do the same thing for we. So you could substitute we, they, our team, our company, other words. So now you have 3 lists of words, nouns and verbs. And now you start mixing and matching to create new questions. So that's how you'll come up with different questions like, how can we help employees with the cause of absenteeism more easily? So it's a tool to help you rephrase your question more easily, because those newer questions will get you to newer ideas. And that's the word swap tool to help you get to new questions, which will lead to new ideas.